Hey guys, Coach Rob here. It's another great day and it's time for another vlog. Today we'll be reviewing a trade that I made in order to drive home two key points. One, something we all struggle with every day as traders, which is entry and exit criteria. We'll get into some of the fundamentals there, as well as number two is a little bit on filters towards the end. So let's jump right in. This was a BABA trade that I made. It was a put getting in at 10:14 and out at 10:15 market time. At the moment that I got in, we had some great market support. Had the big five, you got J-stop, trend lines, signal, K-band, as well as volume popping up. The CLV was at zero. BABA had gapped down on this day. And between BABA and the market, most of the volume was with the sellers. So I'm seeing it as a cyclical stock. However, here early, as well as at the 10 o'clock hour, we had big red trends with high volume. And even these spikes in volume were stopping green trends from continuing. So they were on the seller side. I knew the sellers were with me, and they would drive my trade. The key here is the patience that you have to have. I scanned BABA throughout the morning, and I noticed that it broke out through the risk zone twice, yet it had bounced off of this support line SB. And it even added a Y point the second time it tried to break support. So I knew if I watched it and the market turned red and BABA was able to break through that support with volume, I knew it was going to fit my rules. So I checked off all the boxes on my rules and I patiently waited for this trend to happen. I got in as soon as my rules were met, and you can't see it here, but there were a couple of Y points that got in on this 10:15 candle. Two of them that came up and disappeared, so I knew it was happening. The market was starting to turn against, up to the green side. So I GTFO'd. I was in for a little over a minute and I made 9%. It's a good day. I shut the computer off and I went about my day, headed to the gym. The second point I wanted to drive home was, you see this M right here, that's my filters firing off. Filters are a very, very powerful tool. I was already observing the breakout that I wanted to get in on, so my eyes are already there. Filters are there, they exist so that you can engineer them in replay, in the simulator, to aid you into finding the trends that fit your rules. They are not a substitute for your judgment. You drive this car. You don't rely on the GPS to tell you everything. We use it as a navigational aid, right? But you're driving, you don't take a right-hand turn into a brick wall just because the GPS says to. So think of those filters as a powerful guide, but they are not a substitute for your judgment. And they indicate powerful moments when you engineer them the correct way, but that can also be an exit criteria. In this case, that filter wasn't there to tell me to get into a trade, it was telling me to get out of a trade. So that's how I used it in this circumstance. So the two big takeaways for this trade review are: one, consistent practice will get your rules cemented and proven, and you have the replay simulator for that in DTG, and patience for the moves that fit your rules. You need to hang around and not manufacture trades that are going to get you into trouble. Wait for the obvious ones and wait for all of your rules to be met. Don't break your rules. Secondly, remember that filters are not to be used as a substitute for your judgment. They are not a crutch. You have to practice them and get familiar with them and engineer them in a zero risk environment. Luckily, DTG Replay has that. We have over 8 years of market data, market days for you to practice and test those filters, as well as some great tools. So thank you for joining vlog number 102, and I'll talk to you guys later.